The smoke still hung heavy in the air when I saw it. My orchard, the place I had spent years planting, was now a charred stretch of ground, and across the street, standing with a grin like she had just won a prize, was Karen from the HOA. She held her clipboard high, acting like she controlled everything around her. "You should not even be here," she shouted, her voice cutting through the crackling sounds behind me. For a moment I stood still, then I reminded myself this was my land, my home, and my fight. And this time she had crossed a line she could not hide behind. Last month she tried to punish me with a strange ban for unauthorized landscaping. Now she seemed to treat that as justification for whatever chaos had happened. As fire trucks rushed by, I saw her phone light up. She was live streaming the scene, proudly sending it to the HOA board as if she expected applause. She thought she had control. She thought everyone would side with her. But she had no idea who I was. I lifted my drone controller, the one no one ever saw me use, and sent the drone into the air. The footage captured everything. Her hired cleanup crew, the ones she claimed were only there to help, had sparked the flames, and her own reaction was recorded too, her face caught in a smug laugh. But the twist was not only in the evidence. The twist was me, a former army specialist trained in surveillance and prevention. They believed I had no way to defend myself. They believed I would just leave. Instead I watched every detail, calculated every move, and then the moment arrived. Karen's flawless image, the row of $5 million homes owned by her HOA circle, the symbol of her influence, suddenly faced the same disaster she had ignored. One by one, flames began spreading across her own territory. Her phone stopped recording. Her expression shifted from confidence to shock. She shouted my name, but her own choices were what she was finally confronting. The same flames she believed would push me out reached her own carefully protected world. I did not celebrate. I stayed steady and kept documenting. This was not about revenge. This was about truth. When the real fire crews arrived, the HOA's pride had collapsed, and I had every angle, every moment, recorded. The line I could not forget, and the line others repeated later, was her gasp as her own mansion caught fire. How did this happen? It became more than a scene. It became a warning that no one attacks someone's home or land and expects nothing to follow. As I walked through the remains of my orchard, the wind carried an unexpected calm, like the world had shifted back toward fairness. The next morning the neighborhood buzzed with activity. News vans filled the street, cameras flashed, and people whispered as they passed the smoking remains. Karen tried to keep her usual confident posture, but it fell apart the instant a reporter asked how the fire had reached the homes. Her face lost all color, her hands shaking around her clipboard. I stepped forward, bringing quiet with me. "You want answers," I said. "Here is everything from my drones and security cameras. Every spark, every movement, all captured." The reporter's eyes widened as I handed over the drives. Karen tried to argue, but nothing came out. Not even the strongest lawyer in her HOA could fix this. Then the first major twist hit harder than anyone expected. One of her HOA friends, an attorney known for being untouchable, stared into the cameras and muttered that they should never have hired her private fire control crew. The whole crowd froze. Karen's wall of authority cracked instantly. Neighbors who had once supported her now looked stunned. Her decisions had pushed everyone too far. I stayed quiet as the situation unraveled. My wife stepped beside me, holding our kids, all of them calm and steady. "We are safe," she said, "and our land is ours." Karen tried to call the police on me, but the officers had already seen the footage. One of them stepped forward and explained that the fire originated on her side, not mine. Karen tried to argue, insisting I sabotaged the homes, but the evidence proved otherwise. Her influence vanished. My drone captured even more that no one had seen yet. One of her workers had shouted that the fire was never supposed to reach the houses and that she claimed the wind would be low. That line alone changed everything. But I had held it back to see what Karen would do. And she reacted exactly as expected. She tried to shift the blame to her HOA board, claiming they pressured her, but they immediately denied it. The board president stepped forward and said they never told her to start anything. The moment turned tense as they all argued among themselves. While the confusion continued, something else caught my attention. One of the burned homes had a section that looked strangely damaged inside before the fire reached the exterior. That did not make sense. Fire spreads from outside to inside, not the opposite. I moved closer with caution. My wife came with me, her training evident in the way she surveyed the damage. "This was not normal," she said. "This was placed." Then beneath a fallen beam I saw it, a half-melted device, wired and scorched. It was not from my orchard or from wind. It had been put there deliberately. A chill ran through me. Someone more organized than Karen had been involved. I glanced back toward her. She was panicking under police questions, and in that moment I knew she had not planned this alone. Someone had helped her, and that person had stayed hidden. This fire was not just reckless behavior, it was part of a larger plan, and I was only beginning to uncover it. As soon as the device was found, the truth locked into place. Before I could even reach for it, an unmarked black SUV entered the neighborhood. Two men in suits stepped out, displaying badges that were not local. They walked straight toward the damaged home, ignoring the shouting, the chaos, and even Karen. Her expression changed instantly. She recognized them. "You said no one would find out," she whispered. That was her biggest mistake. One of the agents turned to the crowd and announced they had been tracking staged insurance fires connected to that HOA for months, and that last night confirmed their case. The neighborhood erupted in disbelief. Karen stood frozen. Her plan to use my orchard as a distraction while staging an insurance fire had been revealed. I finally showed the last piece of drone footage. It captured Karen arguing with the mansion owner the night before. "When the orchard burns, your house goes next. Just react the way we planned." The agents watched it once and immediately placed both Karen and the homeowner in custody. She begged for someone to defend her, but no one did. Not this time. Justice came quickly. She faced charges for intentionally starting the fire, attempting insurance fraud, and putting families at risk. Cameras recorded every moment as neighbors who once feared her now watched her taken away. Once everything calmed, I returned to the ashes of my orchard. My children hugged me tightly. My wife held my hand, and I looked at the new sunlight rising over our land. "They tried to take what we built," I said softly, "but the truth showed exactly who they were." The end.